all really, but we'll start off with just introducing that this is the show number 9, and our special guest today is none other than Stephen Lipson.
Steve Lippo. Exciting.
Chaps, hello.
Welcome, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Really appreciate you coming on to do this.
We've never met Brian.
I'm really surprised that you actually said yes.
Brian played drums with Propaganda as well.
I know, but fun enough, at that point, things had gone a bit weird. I think I'm right in saying, with Michael and ZTT, he'd gone a bit peculiar with them. Am I right?
Yeah, well, we did have a 2-year gap between doing the tour. We did the world tour, and then we went into we were writing, and then Claudia, she bowed out basically, and I think we hardly seen Ralph anyway. Ralph was always working from Dusseldorf, and
in the bank.
Well, yeah, it was the Deutsche Bank, yeah.
Yeah.
Strange.
Aye.
But
was it a good album?
The whole thing was a bit weird.
Yeah, it did get really weird. We did the thing that was at the ZTT show at the Ambassadors, and we had Steve Jansen with us. He was drumming, and then Steve left, and then Brian came up to my house in Scotland, and he just left a band called the End Games. And I was saying, so when we were without Steve being gone, I needed a drummer, so I phoned up Michael and says, I've got Brian McGee coming tonight. And Brian, I keep hearing myself speaking in the background there. But Brian joined up. I says, what are you doing just now? He says, no, I've just left the band. I says, do you fancy playing with Propaganda? He went, yeah, all right. And that was it. Next thing, he was in the band for 7 years along with me.
Yeah. Well, what happened was I made the album.
Yeah.
Pretty much, and Michael and I don't agree on, pretty much on my own with a guy called Andy Richards.
I remember Andy Richards.
I think there was only and bass. I think there was bass on one song. It was the same song, drums and bass on Dream Within a Dream. And I think I'm right in saying everything else is programmed.
Yeah, I think it would have been, yeah. But you did
the album.
I know that you did the bass on the album, but you got me in to do the 12-inch of P Machinery.
Right.
You and Trevor.
Yeah, but what happened was the album finished, and then that was a weird, I'm not saying good or bad, but it just felt like not the direction my head would have gone. To have a band, I would have gone a little bit more Kraftwerky.
Yeah.
Like full on electronic. From that point on, I sort of felt any input from me was completely wasted because I'd lost we diverged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that next album, I didn't understand at all.
Neither did we. It was
strange.
Odd. It was getting a bit electronic, and I mean, I was playing bass, obviously playing bass, Brian playing drums, and he would just pull snippets out, and it was, it was disjointed for me anyway, definitely. And we had, my son was born, and I was up there, and I had David Payton playing bass, and I had what's his name from The Who now?
Pino Palladino played.
Pino. Aye, Pino was
there. He played on that album.
Session guys.
Pino. Well, he had to come in and play a bit of bass because my son was born, and I was up there at that time, so there was a gap because the album took 2 years to do. It was a 2-year gap from when we ended. We were writing the songs, and then they've got the deal with Virgin. And after we were at Virgin, that was 2 years. It took 2 years. A long time.
That is incredible.
I
I had
know,
no
we were
idea.
everywhere. We were in the Wool Hall in Bath for a year, 1 year of it, of the album. And there was Steve, what's his name, Brian? Who was it? Producer.
Chris Hughes.
Chris was there.
Chris Hughes.
And
Ian Stanley.
Ian Stanley, yeah. Mr. Super Chat, we used to call him. You'd ask him, how was that? Do you like that bit? And he's going, and he'd have been all that for ages. Then go, I don't know really. That's what we got, Brian and I were like. So we named him Mr. Super Chat.
Yeah,
and after that,
but the songs are really weird. They were like poppy things. That's what I didn't understand.
I know.
It wasn't dark.
Yeah, there was no mysterious stuff that we like. We were playing with
entertainment, and you know, we can get passionate while we're doing it, but in the end, it's just a little bit of fluff for people to enjoy. Do you know what I mean? That's how I've always thought about everything I've done. You put everything in, and then when you finish, it's just whatever. It's just this thing, isn't it?
Totally, it's gone. Do you miss the whole making records, Steve? I mean, I trust you're just in the movie world at the moment. Do you kind of miss that whole band in the studio carry on?
No, I never. Not the bands. You don't know. I don't think you ever knew this, but when it was suggested, I believe that Jim went to Jill Sinclair to ask me to do Street Fighting. I'm wrong, but that's what someone told me. Ring a bell?
You cut out of that last bit. I never caught quite what you said at the end there. I don't recall.
Keeps cutting out a bit.
I don't recall any of that, but Jill Sinclair certainly had a lot to do with a lot of stuff.
So Jill, I was told that someone from Simple Minds, said that they wanted me to produce The Secret Wish. Yeah. And she wanted Trevor to get involved. And I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know. Is that how it came to you? Is that how you were presented with this?
Indirectly, it's how I was presented with it. But at any rate, so to see Jim at Chrissy Hines' house.
Right.
He was married to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said to him, "You're an idiot for having said this." But I said, I would tell you, I'm not really a fan of Simple Minds. And
that's good.
he said, well, that's great, because that means that you'll try and make it better. Then, you'll work harder. So thought that was such a smart, quick, and intelligent answer. It always stuck with me that he said that.
So see, at that very point, were you under the impression that you were doing it on your own? Was it that the intention that you were to produce it?
No, I was under the impression that Jill had roped Trevor in.
Right.
Because it was a good idea.
Yeah. Well, my
while
recollection...
we were up at... Go on.
No, my recollection was Trevor Horn was on the list for a wee bit of time way before, because obviously Trevor is a name that people sort of latch onto. Even though I know, and a lot of people know, that you were responsible for a lot of that sound, people just latch on to Trevor, kind of a Trevor Horn sound, you know what I mean? And that was always at the forefront. So I know that he was a contender in earlier albums, even before Street Fighting years. It was just a case of the time.
Interesting.
Right?
Well,
if the time was right.
Let's be honest. He was the guy. He was the guy who caused Belfast Child to happen.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, even though I was still hand a lot of that credit to John Giblin for
Yeah, I was
kind
saying
of
John Giblin as well.
putting the idea down. But
Yeah.
Trevor was, you should go back to your Celtic roots and you should look at trad music again, which he really did push that, because I for one, who you would have thought would jump on that, I wasn't impressed by pulling at the accordion and starting playing all that hooky chooky stuff again.
With no knickers on.
Yeah, and with nothing under the kilt.
Aye. Apart from the Loch Ness Monster.
A couple of hamburgers.
That was fun, though.
It was great. Yeah, I loved it.
What do you call it? Bonnie
Wee Studios. God knows who came up with that terrible name. But I remember we all kind of felt locked in there at some point until I don't know who decided to say, we need to get out of here. We need to pull all this gear apart and go and set it up somewhere else. Was that you?
No. Oh, because we went to Loch Striven.
Yeah, went up to Loch Striven, which was even more remote.
We started there. Yeah, but the reason we started there was because Bonnie Wee, I thought.
Yeah, I missed that last word again. Is everybody getting the same as me? Is Steve breaking up like that?
Oh, I don't know why this is happening. This is so weird.
I don't know either. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know Big Dougie. Remember Big Dougie, who was Big Dougie sadly is not with us anymore, which I'm really sad about, but he was he was really running that whole thing, and you could see it was kind of, he'd never really installed a studio before, try to get the automation working. It was so kind of, everything wasn't really working. So I'm guessing that was one of the reasons why we thought, let's just uproot and get some other machines up and start doing this up in Glenstriven.
Yeah, I think so. But anyway, I loved Glenstriven. It was such a nice house and a lovely room.
It was beautiful, wasn't it? Yeah, I've seen it a few times since. My pal used to fly a plane off Loch Lomond. It was a seaplane trips. And anytime there was a spare seat in front, he would phone me up because I lived like 10 minutes from there. Mick, if you can get down here quick, there's a seat next to me in the pilot seat, and we'd fly over Glenstriven. And I would say to him, oh, look, that's the house where we kind of recorded Belfast Child. And he's like, oh, get away, you did not, did you? And then ever since then, he would use that as part of his flight info. Oh, here we're passing by where the Simple Minds recorded Glenstriven, recorded Belfast Child. It was an amazing place. I always remember that you and Trevor, we'd all bought fancy cars, right? Remember, you got the Jag and Trevor bought a bloody Mercedes or something. And we'd go away at the weekend and come back Monday. And they two would come speeding up, blowing the horn past the gatehouse, like the London crowd have returned to this tranquil little countryside residence. Just trouble was coming down the line here. Remember that?
I tell you what I do remember. Do you remember the gardeners at Loch Ernhead?
At Loch Ernhead? I don't know. I remember Yang the cook, but I don't remember a gardener.
The cook. There were two gardeners, father and son.
Right.
And they lived where I can't. And I got. The father told me this was the furthest he'd ever travelled in his life, and he was in his 70s. 5 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite sad.
That's pretty amazing. I don't know. He was a very wise guy. He used to say things about the weather. I remember he used to predict what the.
Yeah.
So maybe it's that jack of all trades and masters of none. You know, he just knew where he lived really well.
Yeah, I suppose that's quite good, isn't it? I'm up in the Western Isles of Scotland in an island, and a lot of people are like that up here. They're just comfortable where they are, and if they ever go away, they can't get back fast enough. And I'm starting to feel like that myself, because I've been living here for 2 years now. And any time I have gone away, I just want to get back. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm always
Oh,
like
I
that.
must agree. Travel is just in my head. It's a little bit of a faff because you don't really benefit from travel. You spend not very long somewhere, think you learn something, but you don't really learn anything because you haven't got inside the skin of anything. So it's just a bit weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably one of the reasons why I'm glad I don't go on tour anymore. The whole travel thing, I hate it.
Did you
Steve,
hate it when you were doing it?
I kind of it got a bit of a monotonous, kind of laborious, repetitive thing. You know, that moment you're on stage, it's great. You really love that moment. To get to that point, there's just so much
Yeah.
faffing about and waiting for stuff and waiting to reception, waiting at airport, fucking waiting for everything. You
remember
know,
we used remember we used to go to a hotel room, and it was a chain of hotels when we were in Europe, and you would leave your room in the morning and go and do it about 400 miles to the next gig, and you get there, everybody's knackered. You get into the house hotel, and it's the exact same decor as you get, as if you hadn't moved. I mean,
I
that
know.
was weird. You were just, why am I so tired? You're doing all
Yeah.
this driving a bit, but you loved it when you were
At what
younger
point
anyway.
did you guys? At what point did? How big was the band when you left?
When I left, or me,
Yeah,
Aye.
and Brian.
number one in the world at that point when I left. But don't you forget about me? We just put that out, and that got was number
Yeah,
one.
We were doing
So
3,000, 4,000 seaters gigs when I left the Lyceum and go to
because
London and
I remember
gigs.
I remember traveling a lot with the band because of recording shows and just generally
Yeah.
being with you guys in
Yeah.
your bus, right, traveling around Europe, and
Yeah.
I seem to remember the time you were probably the biggest band in the world, right? Probably,
Yeah.
and if
I-
not, somewhere up there. And I remember
yeah,
thinking, I couldn't get this out of my head, that this convoy of trucks and people, wherever the convoy was, everyone was alive and moving. And as the convoy moved, everyone froze. So it was the world. That's it. Weirdest feeling. It
Yeah.
felt like the show was the world
Yeah. No, it
and
was.
nothing
yeah,
else existed.
Well, that was
yeah,
correct. The show was the world
yeah.
because
Very unhealthy feeling.
you're just bedded in that 24 hours a day, and it just follows you everywhere.
Mm.
I remember that, Steve, and I know you all the stuff, and because it was all about the Verona time. That was sort of the at the peak, at the point at which I was in the band, and when I left, I just felt that was exactly that. This is just repetitive, and it's a wee world. I want to look at something else. I want to see what a life could be like, because you don't really feel it's your life at all. I think we've got some
Uh,
clips to show you about the whole Verona bit and your involvement in that, because that was a great video. It was a really good. I mean, I still think it's one of the best kind of live videos I'd ever seen. And I always remember the
yeah,
mix
it
that
was
you did
really good.
of themes for great cities, how it worked, a massive PA. You know, the whole groove of it, and
Oh yeah, before you
remember we
went
used
on.
that. Yeah, we used that as a sort of
Yeah.
intro. And when they clock that
And you
into
went
the
into that
actual.
great bagpipe. That
That's right.
bagpipe piece you did.
The bagpipes is amazing. That was another one that it was sprung on me when you got the piper in and recorded them, because I'd never really heard a bagpipe being recorded that well before. So the first time I heard the pipes, and it was up in Bonnie Wee Studios, because it was a local guy. Remember the wee guy that lived in the next kind of village?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just an incredible sound. And then when you take that moment away from the wee environment when we captured it, and suddenly we're playing it in a massive PA in front of 50,000, it's like you're thinking, how did that get from there to here? You know, and
Oh, oh,
it was so
okay.
powerful.
So I've got the perfect example of that feeling, right? I'm in a room here at the top of my house, and I've had a studio for years, but I dumped it because I realized this room is it's like having a sports car. I can do everything so quick, but it's small. I can't explain. It's like just the top of a terraced house, right? Anyway, and I did this film, Bond. I did a Bond movie.
Yeah.
I was asked to do, right, and it took ages to do, and I did it all, not recording the orchestra together and put it together in this room, and then mixed it, and then got it approved. And the moment it was approved, that moment, I think it was MGM Go, and it was everywhere round the world. So 1 minute it only existed in my little room, and like the next flick of a switch, it was global. And it it was the weirdest thing.
It is, yeah, I know exactly. That's exactly it. And you must have gone into the cinema, because one of my experiences about you recently, well, not recently, it was one of the Mission Impossible films, and it was right at the very start, and the music kicks in, and I'm listening to this soundtrack, and it was in the IMAX cinema in Glasgow, and they've got a great system. It was fucking pumping. I'm like, shit, this sounds incredible, and I'm looking around the cinema thinking, is everybody getting this? Can you feel this? And I'm thinking, I know who's done this. I just knew it was your sort of sound. I was like, fucking, this is amazing. Have you experienced that feeling when you're in the cinema and you've heard your own mix?
No, because I'm very critical. So I did, and I didn't go to the premiere. Have you ever been to a film premiere? Any of you? It's a nightmare.
A few,
Unless you're the star, right? If you're not the star, you're like a piece of, I don't know, just baggage.
Nobody.
You mean, right. So anyway, I didn't bother going. So I took my wife, Penny, to the local IMAX cinema to see it, right? I thought, oh, look, we'll go for an afternoon. It'll be empty. We'll get good seats. It's IMAX. It'll sound good, look good. The film starts, and I'm going, I hadn't lined the system up, and the sub wasn't working. So there was no low end at all, right?
Man.
So I said to her very quietly, I have to just go and do something. And I went to find the manager. Right? And so I said to the manager, by the way, I've never done this in my life. I said to the manager, your sound system isn't working properly. And she looked at me like I was crazy. And she said, what are you talking about? It works fine. I said, I assure you it's not working properly. And so there was a bit of a toing and froing of this. And then she said, anyway, how would you know? Right? How would you know it's not working properly? Anyways.
Did you tell her? Did you say, like, I know I mixed the track?
I said, yeah, I recorded and mixed this. That's how I know it's not sounding right. Your whole subsystem isn't on. And so she went, I'll go up to the projection room and have a look. So she went up and she came back down and she said, it is working. And I said, what makes you think it's working? And she said, the green light's on. I thought, fuck me. Sorry. I mean, what a simple outlook to life that is. So the green light, fine then,
I thought you were asking for your money back, Steve.
Yeah,
I did get 2 free tickets.
I did exactly that as well, Steve. I can't remember what movie it was, but I thought this system sounds terrible, and I went and complained to the manager of the person. By the time we got dealing with it, half the movie was finished, and then they fixed it halfway through, and nobody fucking noticed anything except me.
No.
Is he going to play something?
Fuck knows.
There we go. Right,
oh, brilliant! There's a thing. Oh, McCartney.
This is the stuff now.
This is all the bands Steve's worked
Who did that?
That's
the guy.
Ex-propaganda, say that there. Yeah.
Stuff.
Fucking hell. That looks really impressive.
One of these, that is really impressive. But one name, it's not on this page, although it's there in the top right-hand corner. Jerry Rafferty. What's the story with Jerry Rafferty?
Jerry Rafferty. There is a story with Jerry Rafferty. Is this? What's happening?
Well, he put
Are
it
we
back up
recording?
again. Oh yeah, we're recording. Yeah. Can you see that?
Oh,
That's
Emma
just all,
Bunton.
that's just
now I
some of
can
the
see.
body of your work, Steve.
All right,
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh,
Billie
look
Eilish,
at
Kelly
this.
Clarkson, Frank
Children in
Hafferson.
need. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Ex-propaganda.
Rafferty.
Ex-propaganda.
Yeah,
That's
Jerry Rafferty.
Yeah.
So, okay, what's going on? Why are we
He's just,
seeing this?
we're just because we wanted to, if you want to bring up any of these, just to look at your work, basically. Look at this as well. Look at that. That's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, wow. It is, isn't it?
That's like a video shot from the 70s that has got
so it is.
these dudes in the VHS tapes. And
Blockbusters.
yeah, amazing.
Wow.
Really cool. Steve.
Not to look at, really, is it? So Jerry Rafferty. It's quite a long story, but I'll try and condense it as much as possible. At the age of 22, I ended up with my own studio, which sounds a bit weird, but it was because I was doing sessions for a friend who had a jingle company. And one day I said to him, it'd be great if I knew how to operate all the gear, because then I could make my guitar sound good. And he said, well, strangely, I've just bought a big building that has a basement. I was thinking of turning into a studio. Do you want to go 50-50 on the studio? And I immediately said yes. And he said, well, here's 15 grand and we'll sign a contract and you build the studio, understand how it works, and we'll do the first session. So from not knowing anything, I had a year to get it together. Anyway, that sort of happened, and the studio became pretty successful, even though I didn't have a clue to this day what I was doing. But the friend who had produced my brother's band, a guy called Hugh Murphy, who worked with Jerry Rafferty, but he was sort of partners with Shel Talmy. Do you know who Shel Talmy was?
No.
No.
Found and produced The Who, right? Can't Explain, My Generation, all that whole era, and the Kinks, You Really Got Me, and a load of other bands in that era. He was the guy who, anyway, so Hugh was sort of part of his production team. And I got to know him through, said, I'll come and work at your studio. And I random albums like Lindisfarne, who I ended up producing, but Lindisfarne, Mike Heron, who was in the Incredible String Band.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, right, loads of records. And then he said, I'm going to Montserrat with Jerry Rafferty. Do you want to come and engineer? And I thought, Air Montserrat, yeah. Why wouldn't I? Yep, I'll come. So by this time, I'd left that studio. I was freelancing and went out there. And Jerry Rafferty was awful. He was the most awful person. But I think because he drank, he was drunk all the time. And I had this weird moment with him where there was a guitar player out there called Richard Brunton, who I got on well with everyone. There was no issues. And they were doing a song, running through a song called Welcome to Hollywood, which I think ended up on an album. I don't know what the album's called. Could have been Snakes and Ladders, or whatever. Welcome to Hollywood. Billie Livesey was the keyboard player. And this guy, it was sort of like a 12-bar thing he was doing. And they all came in to listen. And he came over to me and said, so what do you think? You think I'm sounding good, but I think you should do it up an inversion or an octave maybe. So instead of playing the E or whatever it was down the bottom, why don't you play it up frets and make it a higher voicing? So you're not conflicting with the whirly or whatever the piano was. And he went, that's a really good idea. I'll do that. So we're out of each other's way. And Jerry came over and drunk, and Richard, what's that? What's that? And he said, he suggested I play up in the A position on the 7th fret. And Gerry looked at me and he said, really nastily, he said, "You just stick to the engineering." And I thought, one day I'm going, that was unbelievable. It was such an unbelievable remark that it never left me, and was sort of, it was a big moment.
Did they just say that to
What?
embarrass you, do you think?
No, he said it because maybe because he hadn't thought of it. I don't know. It was awful, really awful.
He had a really
Yeah.
weak voice, didn't he? He had a weak voice. I heard it was really quiet, and he'd need to be mic'd really close to get him to sing out.
Great songs. I mean, I love
songs.
some of the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved his voice, and I loved the feels. The whole thing, do any of you know a song called Get It Right Next Time?
Yeah, I do. That's a great song. I love it.
Oh, it's great.
Swing part.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. The guitar parts are good.
I'm saying I saw them when they were Steelers Wheel. The band was Steelers
Billy
Wheel.
Connolly.
Aye, oh no, that was the Humble Bums.
Ah, okay.
The Humble Bums, but Steelers Wheel came after that. And
Who was
Jerry
who was
Rafferty
in
was
his
with them.
wheel?
I think Jerry Rafferty was, yeah. I remember him. Oh, hang on a minute. What was it? It had Sailing, the song Sailing. I Am Sailing and whatever that Rod Stewart covered.
Yeah.
That was a Steelers Wheel song.
Oh, was it? I never knew that.
Yeah.
Stuck in the Middle with You.
Yeah.
Stuck in the Middle as well. Excellent.
Yeah.
Good. There's always that thing when there's alcohol in the studio, it can always go bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always that.
You've got to drink it quicker.
Especially when it goes into the late hours of the morning and things get louder and faster and more bevy. I mean, I've got memories of us all sitting round the table up at Bonnie Wee Studios, and Charlie and I would always like wine with dinner. And dinner up there, I recall, was quite good. There was always a philosophical conversation that would kind of get under you, and we would spend ages sitting at the table and just talking, and it would all end up in total mental. But one thing I noticed about you guys, you didn't drink. You didn't take it to the point at which where it was beyond a drink with dinner. Where Charlie and I would get fucking hammered, basically. And then go back into the studio and expect to perform and come up with the stuff that it was. That one of my regrets was no kind of addressing that much earlier in my life than it took me to do that. And one of the reasons I think I didn't do that was because I felt like I needed it to be creative. You're frightened to lose elements of it. You see these other bands in studios. I remember with Iggy Pop's band. You remember Steve New and all that? They were all mad, and they were off the face, and you felt like I kind of looked up to them, thinking you had to be like that to come up with, be that creative. And to think that if I remove that, then it's going to leave, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Your bottle maybe go, and you maybe go back to the person you were with no confidence and shy and all that shit.
Yeah. It's interesting that, because I made an album with and he didn't drink, he didn't take any drugs, and turned up early every day.
Who was this?
And out of everyone I've ever... What?
Who was this?
Who was it? Who was
Jeff
it?
Beck.
Oh, Jeff, aye. Yeah. Never met him, but...
Yeah. And in, if you... To be perfectly honest, he got to be, I would say, the most musically talented person I've ever known. By a huge amount, and
an absolute genius.
Innovative, and completely innovative all the time, yet utterly sober, and worked from 10 till 6.
Yeah, wow. I know.
Brilliant.
So-
Some
So
player.
yeah, some player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually a bit weird because he took about a year to make the album, and he'd sit right behind me and tuning up. You know, whatever he did sounded incredible, but he'd do it, and then he'd say, it was like he just read the newspaper, you know, and you go, how is that? And this part, all I wanted to say was, I'm speak, you know, it was a very weird experience working with him, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How good he is.
He's a really,
Yeah.
really talented, gifted man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And comping his solos was interesting. Certainly got an interesting reaction from him. It was because he'd play these solos and say, "I'll just give you a few and do what you want with them." Right. So I thought I'll compile it like a vocal. You know, I'll think
Yeah.
of it like a vocal. But the difference, there was one big difference, which because he changes tone all the time, and so I thought I'll just ignore the tone. I can control the volume, and I'll just cut and paste whatever I fancy, and whatever the tone is, it is. It doesn't really matter. Piece these solos together. I, it was the most extraordinary feeling because I'm making up Jeff Beck's solos. You know, my guitar hero, who everything he does sounds great, and I've got
Hundreds of miles of solos.
start with that. You know,
Yeah. Wow.
Well, Dave
Yeah.
Dave Gilmour played with us on the second Propaganda album, and he was the same. Just had comp and everything he was doing. It was just incredible playing as again. Same as Jeff Beck, right up there.
how
with the
how come
best.
he played on that album?
It was we worked in Abbey Road for 6 months, I think it was. 6 months, we were there in Abbey Road in McCartney's studio up top, and obviously all the legends were walking about getting in there for lunch and whatever. So, but he was there, and he said, could you play a solo on this track?" And I think it's one of the tracks that it was #1 in Argentina, believe it or not, on that album. And I think it was the one he played guitar on. I ended up doing it in the video, trying to play. I couldn't play what he was doing, but it was again.
Funny,
It's just
he played
reminded me of
on
Jeff Beck.
he played on Slave to the Rhythm.
Oh,
Did
right.
he? Aye. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
kind of did. He came down, and his guy took a whole day setting up. Actually, it's a really funny story. His roadie, I can't remember his name. He's been with him for years. Set this stereo rig up, and it was all very precise with tape measures and all this. Anyway, and it basically took him. Showed up, and I played. Trevor was ill in the room, and I played him the song. It was a weird version that I'd done in the synclavier.
Yeah.
Slave to the Rhythm, for some reason, was in E flat. No idea why. It's just how we ended up. And he listened, and he picked up his guitar, which was in E, and he went, "Don't think I'm going to be able to do much on this." And I said, "Why? Why? What's the problem?" "It's in E flat." And I said, "Can't you tune because then the tension, the tremolo goes out." And he said, "Let me see what I can do." He did about 10 takes, went home, and I pieced something together, but I could only get, I think it was a 16 bar section or whatever. And, but I could only get 8 bars of him. And this is youth. Talk about youth, right? And
Yeah.
so Trev by this time is going. He's better, and he's going. "Well, can't you find those no more?" And I said, "I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me just plug in and see what I can do." And I had a Strat, and it went pedal called it was a Boss heavy metal black
Right.
pedal, DI'd into the console, right? Played through his solo, did a little whatever it was at the end of it. So his roadie took all day, right, to do his solo. We only got half. I took 10 seconds to get the sound, finish the solo off. It was weird. And that's on the record. You can hear it switch, and one doesn't sound any better or worse than the other. It's funny.
Yeah.
That's
Do
my experience with him.
playing, Steve, rather than producing? Because I know you were in the band with Trevor on a few occasions, weren't you? Do you do that much still?
Yeah.
What we call the producers?
No, not really. Yeah, it was fun at the time, and then the main guy, the singer, went to live in LA, and then Trevor decided to call it the Trevor Horn Band, and I thought I'm all right, I'm happy at home.
I did a couple of
Not
gigs
doing
with
it.
him once in the festival hall after we did that track with the Brothers in Arms. He'd put the band together. I mean, he was playing bass, and he'd Lol Cream and stuff like that. They were a great band. They sounded really cool.
Yeah.
I think they had quite a lot of stuff in the computers. There was loads of in-ear click track. I only did a few tunes, but there was a louder metronome in my ear than anything else. So it was like, what the fuck is this? But no, it's a good thing. I was just wondering why you opted out of that.
It political a bit weird. It's power play thing, and I thought I'm all right. I'm still very friendly with him. We talk a lot, but it just seemed in a way a bit inappropriate for me to be there. Don't get me wrong. I'm a team player, but it was just a weird team. It just felt weird, and he was fine without me. So
yeah. I'm sure he probably changes musicians about quite a lot. I'm not sure. I've not actually followed them. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good thing. Right, we've got some bits that we can play here. Have we got something we can play, Steve, and we can talk about it? It was.
It sound better with it, yeah, much better. I mean, like, different leads. Is that running?
Hi Steve, how's it going?
it's been running.
You're joking.
The whole time, Trevor, you two.
We're fucked, right?
Trouble.
Is this fucking thing running?
Nah.
Look, man, I didn't mean any of it, really.
Sour and biscuit. Yeah. That's it.
I like that, Cal. Let's quickly record a bit. Yeah.
See, we went down, then we went up, then we went down, then we went up.
What's that?
I've got some dinner coming.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
What kind of dinner?
Meat.
Meat?
We're having a meat dinner
What, just now?
just now.
What kind of meat?
Lamb. Lamb chops, right? Lamb in this room. You know we killed a rabbit en route to you.
I love it. Did you? Did you pick it up?
Well, did we pick it up? We checked stop.
Yeah, the finger every time. That was what my main recollection of you, Steve, is that fucking finger. Every time I look at you, you would go like that.
Do you know that who was that manager? What was his name? Jimmy?
Jimmy Devlin.
Jimmy Devlin, that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember him. It's interesting, isn't it? Dougie Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know.
Wow.
Had you seen? I'd posted some of that stuff up. That was my home camera footage and stuff like that from the time.
Have you got loads?
I've got a fair bit, but I mean, in the studio stuff, I've not got that much. As I've got a lot of home stuff. I've not actually gone through it all yet. And the little bits that I have, I just tried to pull wee bits together and try and play a little bit of something to reflect the sound of the time on it. You know, a kind of broken down, open thing. But no, I think that's a really funny one in particular, mainly because of the finger and you determined, because you obviously knew we were all vegetarian and you kept saying about this dinner's coming and it was like, you wanted to take me.
Meat. It was funny that we drove over a rabbit. Who is that? What drove over a rabbit? I was thinking, you said, well, did you clean it up? And I thought, oh no, I'm going to say the worst. Like, no, crazy, yeah,
that's
funny.
That was good. I mean, I don't suppose you have you got many old footage of you in the studio. Is there? Have you seen much of yourself in that environment?
No, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, and are you okay looking?
Shocked.
You okay looking at that? I mean, Trevor's obviously really comfortable. You both were. I mean, just how you just kind of you see the camera and then you kind of just deal with it. You know, there's none of that thing off. Would probably be creative and all that shit.
Yeah. I was going to say to you, you're playing "This Is Your Land," aren't you?
Yeah,
On the piano.
Yeah.
That's a really good piece.
Yeah, no, good. Thanks. I thought I'm just kind of I'm trying a few of those things, just piano versions of them. Maybe with the view of doing like a midnight album in my pajamas and just play them. You know, just play them.
Am I right in thinking Fighting Years came from you playing the keyboards?
Kind of. I mean, the bulk of it sort of started there. The track Street Fighting Years. Yeah.
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 No more. Oh, Let It All Come Down was John, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was John. Yeah, it was nice seeing John in there as well. I really missed John. I was shocked when I heard that he died. But yeah, no, that was a real tough one because that kind of took us. That was kind of the end of my moment, and from where we went after that, and then you obviously because when we did, for example. What's the Prince one we did? Do you remember the Prince? What was that called?
Oh, I love that.
Sign of the Times.
Sign of the Times.
Sign of the Times.
I totally loved it as well. And we threw in some samples
off
a sample CD that you had. And I was expecting you to do like magic things and time everything out. You didn't bother timing ends. You just played the playback. You didn't even know what was coming next. And then comes a bomb and then comes another. All these noises were just happening randomly.
And it was amazing.
Yeah. And I loved it. And
but then I remember... Go on.
No, you go.
No, I was going to say Jerusalem. Do you remember you decided...
Yeah. Oh, Jerusalem.
You came in. I'll never forget. You said, it's in 6. And I went, what are you talking about? It's in 6. You figured Jerusalem was in 6. And I've never forgotten it. It was
somebody got me the sheet music for it, and I learned the whole thing on the piano. It took me fucking days to do it. To actually sit down, learn all the notation, then play it on the grand piano. And all you ever did was took the intro off, made it sound crappy through a little radio, the first 10 seconds, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. It was really good.
Yeah, no, it was a good version.
Yeah,
there was a sort of,
I love that.
Wee loop. It's just a silly wee loop that you latched onto, and we looped that up and kind of took it somewhere. I've never heard another version of Jerusalem like that.
No, it went. I remember the loop. It went. What was it? It was like a kalimba or something.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a D50 rack module. It was. I don't know why it was in there at all. I don't know how it developed into that. That's the other thing I was actually going to say to you, Steve. On that piano, the little bit that I played there was a ding ding. There's a sort of an arpeggio, a descending arpeggio, and that was you that did that when you went away one time, and you had a rig in your house or something like that, and you put this thing together and it had a wee descending, and that's stuck with me forever because I never played that. My chords were just dead straight triads, and it was just really simple. And then when you played that, it's kind of, oh man, that's really cool. And that's what kind of really inspired me to play that on the piano, just like that. It's excellent.
Yeah, well, I love that. There was a thing that happened. You talk about that CD, the BBC sound effects. Sign of the Times, it starts and then no drums, right? And then the drums come in after the first verse. They sort of sneak in with the bass, right? And as they sneak in, there's a cry from the sound effects.
That's right.
That really got me. And that was random. Complete.
Oh yeah.
Francis skinny man battled the big disease with a little lamb. By chance his girlfriend came across a needle, soon she did the same. At home there were 17-year-old boys and their idea of fun is being in a gang called the Disciples, high on crack, toting a machine gun.
Yeah, that's it. It's good.
It's good, that. Yeah, really good.
Yeah. Because even though your wee drum program, because you programmed all of that, the wee diddly-doom, it's fantastic. And the speed that you did it at, that always used to amaze me as well. I'd have been sitting about messing with that for weeks to get that, and you probably did that in about an hour. Do you know what I mean? It was amazing. You're a total genius.
You do you know how I found out you left the band, by the way? Was we had agreed to go back to Whistleord album, and you weren't there.
Yeah, I know.
So I found out.
Yeah, did they not tell you Mick's not coming? Did they two just show up without me?
I think so. Yeah.
I like them.
And I thought, well, I thought, who's going to do it? What is going to happen now?
Yeah, I know, and my recollection as well, because you've called me a couple of times, and Mick, you need to get involved because you even sent me some of the tracks, and I knew they'd made no effort at all to communicate with me after I said I left in Australia, and I just knew that was kind of the end of that chapter. And you were really, Mick, come on, I know you can do it. You don't have to do anything. You can stay in your house. I'll send you the tracks. Just give me the ideas and we'll fly them in. You've laid it on really, really strong. And it was really kind of heartwarming as well to know that I was really wanted, if it all only by you. But so you sent me, I think it was, what was that? Let There Be Love. You know the track, Let There Be Love. In fact, you sent me a few of the demos. I think we've actually got that. Have we got that? Let's just... Do you recognise that audio?
Yeah, that's unbelievable. We did it in the basement in Whistleord.
Oh, you made that in Whistleord.
Hello?
So my question to you is,
Yeah.
who put the keyboards on it? Because was it the whistling, all the good stuff, basically. Was it you, or was it what's his name? Peter Fittess?
No, it's Peter Test.
Was it?
Yeah. Did you ever meet? Yeah.
No, I didn't. But no, it's because the keyboards are great on it. That was one of the things that when I heard Real Life album, particularly the track Real Life as well, I was thinking, shit, they don't fucking need me. This was all right. There was a couple of great tracks that I heard.
There are a couple of good tracks on there. Oh, maybe three. But you're wrong, because he is brilliant, Peter. He's a really... I got him involved because he was a really good friend of mine, and I had loads of albums with him, and thought we need a keyboard player. And he went on tour. Did you know he went?
Yeah. I saw bits of that. Yeah. No, it was excellent.
And they did The Big Sleep. He used to say that he couldn't cope with the band. He couldn't cope doing the tour because it was all too easy for him. He's brilliant, this guy. Needs to be pushed.
Yeah.
Right. And so he'd say, The Big Sleep. He goes, I fall asleep in the big sleep. He just
yeah.
It was his ongoing...
I know.
Yeah.
I can
Anyway,
totally
he
believe
couldn't
it.
take more than one tour.
Yeah, I mean that track "Big Sleep." It's almost like I wished a looper had been invented, because my whole left hand would be occupied with that one pattern for the whole song. You know, it's like, so you just have to keep din forever. You lock it in till you actually don't think about it, and you can think about other things. You know, like who's the hot girls in the front row. You know.
What album was that on?
I don't know. What was that on, Dan? Big Sleep.
That was New Girl Dream, wasn't it?
Was it?
Big Sleep.
Big Sleep, yeah.
It was New Girl Dream.
Was it?
So that what we just did with that demo, that was the demo that you sent me, Steve. We just put that over the glossy promo video that they made at the time. So kind of.
Yeah.
Ideally, we could have slotted in the kind of the then and now sound, but anyway, we're not going to go there. So what else? We've got a load of questions for you, Steve, that Brian's put in a list here. Do you mind if we fire some questions at you?
No.
We've got a question by a guy called Andy Gillis, Steve, and he's asking you, which album did you wish you could have produced that you didn't?
Simple Minds album, or any album?
No, just any album, I think. Was there an album that you listen to and you go, I wish I'd done that?
The Bob Geldof album.
The Ruttles.
The Ruttles, right.
The Beatles.
I have no idea. How about the Beatles? No. It would have been a disaster. Maybe, I'll tell you who, and I don't know which album, maybe Steely Dan. Would have been great to work with them.
Brian McNeil, my keyboard player in the band I've got, he worked with him. They were producing that. I don't know. I mean, I know Steely Dan, but can't remember their names.
Yeah.
One's called Steely and one's called Dan.
Is it because
That's
it's Dan?
Dan's
in the name. Okay, Steely Dan, that's good. Yeah. What else you got, Brian?
The question from Ben Bartley, and it's if you could create a 5-piece supergroup from everybody you've worked with, who'd be in your band? So who would be your most favoured vocalist? You're creating a band, so...
Well, with Jeff Beck on guitar, wouldn't it? You're going to go with that one, eh?
Who would be? Yeah, I suppose so. But a band with... Okay, no offence to anyone here, right?
I'm offended already.
None of yous.
Who would you have?
I have a friend, Ash Sohn, who's a writer. Ash Sohn, I'd have Pino, as I'd have him play bass. I've just worked with him forever. So guitar, a Peter Vitesse on keyboards, and on guitar, maybe guitar Jeff Beck, or yeah, I don't know. He'd be great in a band though. You need two guitarists if you had Jeff Beck.
Right.
Rhythm guitarist, maybe Eric Clapton, but I haven't worked with him. So Guthrie Govan as a rhythm guitarist, right? And a singer. Who would I want as a singer? Wow. Well, the question is, would it be male or female? And if it's
Right.
female, I think it would probably be Annie Lennox. Good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, that was a
Male
great
singer?
album as well, Steve. That was an amazing album.
Shocking.
What about drummer?
That's
Eddie
off the
Reader.
top of my head. Ash Stone.
Who's
You know
that?
him?
No.
Who?
Oh, check him out. ASHSOAN.
Ashon.
He's very, very good.
Do you
Ash,
remember? Do you remember when
ASH.
the drummers came up to Lochern Head, Steve, when Stuart Copeland and Manu Katsu came up? Do you have any memory of that? No.
Manu Katché came up, and that was very strange
Yeah.
and a bit weird. I don't know what he was involved for, but there you go.
No, I don't. His whole thing just sounded like a drum
Yeah.
sound check to me. I remember Stuart Copeland vaguely because you could hear instantly that's Stuart Copeland playing the drums there. You just knew his style right away.
Loads of hi-hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
I'm
else you
looking
got?
at a list of people. I'll tell you who else I've worked with.
Who?
Josh Stone.
Josh Stone. Aye.
Cool.
Good voice.
Yeah, I like Josh Stone.
Yeah.
What about Seal? Would he not be in there?
Yeah.
Seal's got a really cool voice, as you know.
Who?
Yeah.
Seal.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really worked much with him. Yes.
No.
I was never hooked. Thanks.
I'll tell you who's good to have in a band. Paul McCartney. I'd have him in a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just listening to the bass lines.
Uh,
Incredible.
yeah, okay.
Plus, the food would be
Yeah.
good because it's not vegetarian.
Aye, I've got Public Image
It's true.
playing over in the park here behind me. Public Image. All I can hear is him playing.
Kelvin Grove.
Aye.
Oh,
There's a big
Wow.
there's a bandstand and the
it's time 9 o'clock.
Public Image are on.
Aye.
Yeah.
What else you got, Brian?
I'm looking through here. Billy Clegg, who I know, is asking, why was People Stand Up Again deconstructed and not used? It's a belter.
That was a tune that we didn't use.
People stand up again.
It was a tune in Street Fighting years, Steve.
I've no
Yeah.
idea.
Mike maybe remembers it.
I remember it. I remember it was kind of, we never got anywhere with it. We spent a bit of time on it. It was part of the stuff that never got used in Street Fighting years.
Oh, music.
Tab Nab likes it.
Is this it?
That's it. That's it playing in the background. Yeah, the immediate assets. Turn it up a wee bit.
I thought that was Vic Reeves.
You remember it, Steve?
Bath.
Yeah.
There's not. That's why it wasn't on the album.
Yeah.
Answers itself.
Yeah.
There's a guy.
Answers
There's a
that
guy
post.
called
Yeah, kind of. It's pretty.
There's a guy called Brian McIntosh, Steve, and he's asking your guitarist, as a guitarist, you've got a distinct sound, and he's saying he'd love to know how you achieve this. What guitar amp and effect pedals do you use? So give us
What?
give us
In
the know-how.
what? Where? When? How?
Well, he did-
On,
he
on
did-
your
he-
own
he-
on your own sound,
on
your own
your
guitar
own-
sound.
Do you use a specific
Do you know what?
array of
My
things,
answer
or
is
do you
it doesn't.
change it?
It doesn't make any difference. I've discovered that's the thing I've discovered. That guitar players, unless they're professional studio players, kind of sound
Yeah,
they use. So
yeah,
it doesn't make that much difference. I've got loads of amps, Fenders and Marshalls. I've got a Kemper here. I've got a quad, whatever it is down there. You know, these virtual amps. I've got guitars around me. They all sound the same to me. Ain't any difference. It's to do with what you play and how you play it. I think.
yeah,
The
totally.
player.
Yeah, that's good. I was going to say a thing about the gear when you go into the gear stuff, Steve. Have you not been approached like any of these software companies to build your own plugins and get? I remember you always used to talk about a better button on the desk. You need a button, you just press, and everything gets better. Have you never thought about building one?
Yeah. I've had loads of ideas for plugins, but the trouble is with all this stuff, you're either working or, you know, like recovering.
Yeah.
And the idea of getting in touch with a company and doing a plugin, oh God, it would take ages. A lot of R&D to and fro, maybe one day, but they've kind of got everything now.
Is there anything you thought that you would like, something that hasn't been done that you think I'd like that?
Yeah, but it's not much use to anyone, I don't think. And that's okay. I'm not quite sure how to slave to the rhythm. Chris Blackwell took us to New York there. He took us around all these clubs, and we were in one club, but somehow we could talk. And I realized what had happened was they'd used the frequency, whatever that area is, that is the bit that makes the voice. I don't know, what would it be, 800 to 2K, or this band was sucked out of the mix, so you could choose. It was
Right.
a lot of mileage in that for a plug-in. I never really
Yeah.
It's going to
anyway,
went
but
pish again, isn't it?
no.
It's gone. The delay's gone to shit. That was the only other thing. With something that would deal with, like, I don't know if you've ever had online when lockdown was in there, and I'm trying to get it going with these two guys with a kind of absolute minimum latency jamming scenario. Apparently, Zoom have got a new thing, a Moose thing, or even this platform, the StreamYard. I've been still trying to get a good, clean stereo so that I can play it and you can hear it good. It's just struggles with it. Have you ever had anything that actually works well in that scenario?
No, but I have to say, this software, what is this software?
It's called StreamYard, but I mean, from your perspective, it's not doing a great job for you. But
Shityard.
StreamYard, it's kind of
Yeah,
just a conferencing thing.
it's have you never used Zoom?
Yeah, I've used Zoom, but I, again, because of the audio, I picked this one because it's got really good stereo audio in real time. So I can plug my DAW into this, and I can actually play the piano, and it'll play my sound the way I want to hear it. Instead of Zoom, you either have to play a file from a library. You can't actually perform live with it. Maybe you can now, right now.
You can.
Yeah.
No, you can. You get yeah. There's this software you can get. I'll tell you what it's called. Actually, there's loads, but Sound Source. Hang on, Loopback. Do you know what Loopback is?
Yeah, Loopback. I've got Loopback in my. I use Reaper now. You know the Reaper software, and the
Yeah,
latest update of that is got Loopback in it, and it is good. I do like Loopback.
yeah. So you can just create a virtual output with everything that you want going into that output, which is the input to Zoom.
Yeah. No, I know that's what I've been using that one. The other one that I've got is called the Black Hole. Have you heard of that one? Sounds kind of
No.
dodgy, a black hole. That's what I tried to use today when I was setting this up early, because I was wanting to be in a position to play a couple of things, but it just keeps crashing out, and it's just a nightmare trying to get it working. And then the other person says, "Oh, I can only hear it in mono, and I can't really, it sounds shit." Anyway, let's move on. What else have you got, Brian?
I've got a question from our old friend George Porter, and it says here, "Baby Let Me Take You Home" by the Animals was the first record you ever bought, Steve. Is that true?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Baby, let me take you home. Baby, let me take you
Well,
home.
George is asking, what was the last thing you bought?
Whistler.
What was the last
Fucking
thing?
teasing on you.
Fuck me. Yeah. The last. That would have been about 20 years ago. The last thing I bought. You're kidding.
What was the last
No,
thing you
not a
played
clue.
on Spotify or whatever? What was
Oh,
the last
well, I
piece
can
of
tell
music
you that.
listen back to then?
I can tell you that because I've switched computers, so I can't see you guys at the moment, but I'll tell you what it was. Carla Bley. Do you know who Carla Bley is?
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay. It was Carla Bley, and it is a song called. I've got something funny to tell you about Baby Let Me Take You Home. But before I do that, it's a song called Lawns, Lawns, right? And that, I was in the car with my, how old is she? 12, my 12-year-old granddaughter today. And I going somewhere, the two of us are in the car going somewhere. And I thought, I'm fed up. I've had enough. We've talked. All right, I'm going to put some music on. And she said, "Great. What are you going to put on?" I said, "Oh, just this thing I heard recently. I really like it." And I put on, it's an instrumental piano. She's a pianist, right? A jazz pianist. And I put it on. She said, "Where's the singing?" I said, No, it's instrumental." "What do you mean, instrumental?" It was brilliant. She didn't have a clue. Anyway, but it's beautiful. If you get the opportunity, listen to it. Lawns by Carla Bley.
Lawns,
It's
yeah.
good.
I'll check that out.
Lawns. Baby, Let Me Take You Home. For some reason, before I met Trevor, I had this manager, beautiful man called Mim Scala, and he got me a production gig co-producing an album with the Animals with Chaz Chandler. Do any of you know who Chaz Chandler is?
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, no, he is, yeah.
There he is.
Jimi Hendrix. Yeah.
He's there, I can't fill it out.
Yeah, and I think either Slade or anyway, so it was at Rockfield, and so I packed what little gear I had. I don't know why I took any gear, and drove to Rockfield where you all worked. I know,
Yeah.
and it was the studio that not the courtyard, not the big one, but the little one. You know the one I mean?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was the one
Round the
we were in.
corner.
And Bowie was,
I'm sure.
yeah.
number one.
Was it the
Okay.
Mill? Was it called the Mill?
No,
No,
not the Mill.
No,
No, the Mill was down the road.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was the smaller studio, and
the one we did.
Yeah.
you
when
know
Iggy was
it.
there. Iggy
Yeah.
went to one, and we went to.
Okay, so I walk in, and there's Chaz Chandler in the middle of the control room, just like reading a newspaper right in the middle, with his legs up on the table, like occupying the whole room. The room was occupied 100% by Chaz Chandler. And I said, "Hello." He goes, "Who are you?" Like, really rude. "Who are you?" And I said, "My name's Stephen, and I'm co-producing this with you." We'll see about that, like rude beyond belief. Anyway, I walked into the studio to see all the gear, and he had do you know what an Ampeg SVT is?
Yes, I used them. Still use them.
Huge.
Yeah.
Right.
I both have.
Massive, great rig.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this is a small room, and the bass player, I didn't connect that he was the bass player, right? So in my head, I'm going, the bass player's a wanker. What's going on? You can't use that. It's a small room. So I went back into the control room and I said, that bass rig is ridiculous. Whose idea was that? And he looked at me and he went, he said, I'm the fucking bass player and that's the rig I'm using. Paper. And it was chaos from then on. But the guitar player was the original guys, right? And the guitar player was a guy called Hilton Valentine, who had, at that time, he was finished as a human being because he'd overdone LSD. And he was like not with us at all, right? He was very vacant. And I mean, a gorgeous guy, but really not there. And I said to him one day, it was just the two of us in there, and I went, Hilton, you know, the first record I bought was Baby Let Me Take You Home. And that opening guitar riff is the thing that sold me on it. You wouldn't do me the honor of playing it for me, would you? And he looked at me and he went, yeah, I'll do it. And so he put the guitar on and he stood up and he sort of shook himself into existence, you know. Right. And I could see he was just sort of zoning into the riff. And he went, da 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 da, stopped and fell apart. Right, it was unbelievable. It was like he plugged himself in for a finite amount of time, and as soon as the riff had finished, he just reverted to nowhere. It was the weirdest thing. Well, thank you, Hilton. Thanks.
Brilliant. That's really good.
Yeah, I wish I'd videoed it. It was the bit where he stopped. Because who'd stop there?
Just,
you go, wouldn't you?
yeah,
You
they just ran out of petrol.
Yeah,
I've got to put his guitar on.
Bang, dead stop. On the weirdest of...
An electric car would do that.
Yeah. That's what it was like. But on the weirdest of chords, because it was a leading chord, you know, it wasn't like there was no resolution, just stopped in midair. It was really strange.
Almost a seventh.
So what else you got, Brian?
I've got one here. Someone's asking, a guy called Philippe Cantrell is asking, where did Saturday Girl come from or came from? Who had the idea to replicate drum and synth of real life track in When Two Worlds Collide 1? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Where
Two Worlds
Saturday
Collide.
Girl come from?
Well, Saturday Girl, was that the same track we were talking about earlier?
No, I think it was a B-side. Was it a B-side?
No.
Yeah. It's another. Yeah, I don't know.
Just another track that never made it.
Kind of, I think when these tracks come up, people discover them. They think, "Well, why didn't they do that? That was going to be really good." And somebody stopped it. That was going to be amazing, but some fucking bright arse stopped it.
Yeah,
probably me.
Hang on. When Two Worlds Collide.
Here's a question. Sorry.
When Two Worlds Collide, what album was that on?
I don't know it.
It does sound like a familiar title, doesn't it? When Two Worlds Collide.
Whatever. I think it might have been real life. Yeah.
Real life.
Real life. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's that album. I just have to point out it was a miracle. It got made actually.
Really.
Yeah, complete miracle because the guys were shell shocked. They wanted to prove they could do something without you, and it was really hard for them. Really, really tough.
Really, I mean, my vibe at the time that I got from both Jim and Charlie was that they were really going rock. I was so vibed out with Sign of the Times and that whole method of using samples and using technology. And Jim just kept going on about Charlie guitar, get some guitar chords, and the whole thing just, I don't know what I'm going to do here, was kind of in front of my mind. It seemed like it was nothing, despite the fact what the outcome was. It was nothing like what I imagined the direction we were going. And that may have been down to you, Steve, but I really got the vibe that they didn't want to have kind of a keyboard pace, as if the whole Street Fighting years with the orchestrated bits and the arrangements and the spaces, as if that was, we don't want anything to do with that. We just get in there and get live and get that rock.
But there are two weird things about that. One is that Real Life was written nearly completely on piano, right? Charlie playing the piano. And two, Sign of the Times was a complete departure from Street Fighting years.
Yeah, but I still felt I didn't want to be like a Street Fighting years. I felt the going down. I remember when you played Slave to the Rhythm for the first time in the studio, and it was in Sam and the big speakers and the arrangements and the whole thing about why we wanted you and Trevor in the first place. We kind of contradicted it by our own involvement and inhibiting you to do what you should be doing. I felt Charlie and myself particularly were really pushy about certain things which they just let you guys do what you wanted to do. So by the time we got to the album at the way, and we're looking at Sign of the Times, and I can see the way I would think, we need to go with this guy and go with this whole future way of compiling tracks instead of trying to write the songs with a guitar and verse. I just saw a completely different method to that I was excited about, and it was nobody was looking at that option. Well, certainly Jim and Charlie weren't.
So, okay, another question for you guys: what album was Theme for Great Cities on?
That was Sons and Fascination, was it?
I think it was.
Yeah.
And was that the three of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of electro, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were kind of going around the clubs of Europe. We were getting influenced by nightclubs in Germany and stuff like that.
Sister Feelings Call it was.
Yeah, that was the album it was on.
Yeah.
So why are you asking that, Steve?
Well, because that wasn't rocky. That was sort of synthy, dancey. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
So, so you only really had, at that point, am I right in thinking you only had one rock album, and that was the one you did with Irvine?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't know how you even, what is a rock album in as much as like, but yeah, I mean, the Irvine one was definitely a kind of American slant on looking at try to turn out hits, basically. We thought Irvine, I mean, Trevor was supposed to be a hit maker as well in such a way. These are coming off the back of ABC. How commercial can that be? Frankie Goes to Hollywood. You know, it's like, that's fucking top of the charts stuff. You know, I'm thinking we want a slice of that shit.
What album was Waterfront on?
That was the Steve Lillywhite one. That was the one we did with Steve Lillywhite.
Sparkle in the Rain.
Was that rocky as an album?
Yeah, that was a live. That was a livey thing. That was based on kind of a vibe that was, because we kind of wrote that live. We played that in Dublin, I think, before we'd even sort of finished it.
We did it the day we were in Nomus the day before. Then we flew out to We flew out to.
I would say that was a more rocky thing than the Irvine stuff, really.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So hang on. What are you saying? You recorded it live? Album?
I had an idea, and I'd got a sample. I sampled the bass part. Just sampled that and played the melody over the top of it. And then we were in rehearsals, Charlie and Mick, but they were in London working on stuff, and we were in to hear what they had.
Well, we had the gig coming up. We had some gigs coming up.
But that gig, we were doing that gig, but we were rehearsing for it. And at the end of it, we were all finished. And I just picked the bass up and went, did. And that was it. I played along with it. Jim said to me, "What's that?" I said, it's just something I was working on because I was in Glasgow at the time. And everybody joined in, and that was it. You know,
Yeah.
and we played it the next day, and I was playing the bass, the pulse with my finger. I'd never used the sample, so I was you know, trying to play all the notes on top. But that's when we did it.
Yeah, but it was the reason it is live. I think because we introduced it straight into the set before we ever recorded it.
Aye.
So we're
Oh, really?
we're playing it
Yeah.
live before we recorded the record.
Oh, aye, we did it. We just played it as.
And it was
was
quite a
there.
big gig. I think it was Croke Park or something, was it? Was it?
No, was it Croke Park? No, I played Croke Park with you after I was out the band.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Aye, but no, it was Phoenix Park.
Oh, it's Phoenix Park. That's right.
That's Phoenix
No,
Park.
that's right. Phoenix Park. That's the other thing. I mean, with Steve Hillage, with Steve Lillywhite and Steve Lipson, I'm wondering if there's another Steve we could record another album with.
Yeah, probably is. Yeah.
What's with the Steves? in the fucking-
Stevie Wonderbar.
Right, Stevie Wonder.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did Steve Hillage do with you?
He did the first album for Virgin with us. He did the life.
Yeah.
He did Themes for Great
Yeah,
Cities.
the American and all that stuff.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was something else. Actually, I saw him recently on. There was a documentary on Michael Oldfield, Tubular Bells, and Steve Hillage is playing the guitar on it. One of these very first ever gigs that Richard Branson had talked Mike Oldfield to do it live, and I think Steve Hillage was in the band.
Oh, wow.
Aye.
I did an album with
Actually,
Mike
Gong,
Oldfield.
didn't he? He
Oh,
was with
did you?
Gong.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
album did you do?
It's called Man on the Rocks. It was a strange but interesting experience.
Yeah. Was it after he'd got his kind of enlightenment together, and after he'd done some sort of weird thing that took him out of himself, and was it after that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. And he lived
right.
in, I want to say the Bahamas or Bermuda, the Bahamas. He
Yeah.
lived in the Bahamas. I had to go out there to meet him. It was very surreal.
I loved your story about going out to meet Whitney Houston to do that track with her. That's an amazing one.
What a nightmare woman. Bless
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. She was amazing though, wasn't she? What a voice.
Great voice.
Was that with Hef? Did you get there with Hef?
Yeah.
We
We were meant to go out. We got to the airport, and twice, it was on a Saturday, and we're in the lounge, ready to go, checked in, phone call, she's not ready. Okay, check out, home, week passes, Saturday, back to the airport, check in, same thing, twice. She pulled out twice. Then finally, third week, we got there and got to her studio at 6 at night or something, 6 at night. And she kept us waiting 7 hours with she didn't like air conditioning. So it's sweltering. And so come 1 in the morning, which is 6 in the morning our time, she shows up with her husband, what's his name, Bobby Brown, and all his pals, and they all had guns. And she she was in a white robe with a towel, and someone had a tray of drugs for her, right? And she didn't know the song. The whole thing was awful.
Did she say that it was the wrong key or something like that? Was there a thing that
she didn't know the song? Just couldn't sing it.
And did you eventually do it? No.
Kind of. Next day, we had to come back. I'd planned on doing it all in one day, and Bobby Brown kept throwing it. He'd say things like, she'd sing some rubbish that didn't relate to the song. Oh, first year was a faff with the key, and she said, "I don't like the key," and I said, "Well, I got to say, I tried to get you like 10 times, and I couldn't get through to you. So I made a guess, and I think you'll find it'll work, because I figured the key out, and it worked. It was fine, the key, but she had to make a fuss, right?
Yeah.
I think it was a black white thing going on. It was very,
Oh, really?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Anyway, so finally, second day, she sort of sang the song, and at 6 in the morning, which it was 11 in the morning for us, she left the studio, and as she left, she said, "Do a rough vocal comp for me, and send it over." And Heth and I were like, like falling, like really tired. I put something together and put it on a cassette, because that's what it was at the time. And I said to the guard, "Okay, guard, right? A guard in the control room." Said, "I need to take this over to her." And he said, "That's not how it's done here." And I said, "That's interesting. How's it done?" He said, "You give it to me. I take it to her. She'll listen when she's ready, and she'll come over and comment when she's ready." And I said to him, I said, "That's how it's done here, is it?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's how it's done here." It's funny. We do things different. Hef, take the tape off, right? And he takes tape off. "This is how we do things. We're going. Bye." And I've walked out. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And then when they get the gun out and start, whoa.
Could well have. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really freaky anyway. And then the mix was well, we had a big hit, but it was a disaster.
Right. Oh, wow. No, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, that's great. And anything else, Brian? How we doing? I mean, we've kind of gone quite over the time here, but how we all doing it? Any other questions?
No,
Can you hear me, Brian? Is he
I
frozen?
think Brian's sleeping.
Is he going into the big sleep?
He's fell asleep. Glenn,
I think his jack plugs came out.
Glenn, are you there?
Do you still keep in touch with Hef at all? Is he still engineer?
Now and then. I'm not quite sure. He ended up working for a club that had a studio. It all got a bit complicated. I wasn't quite sure what was
no
going
communication here at all.
on. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. He's dropped off. No, I don't think he can hear or see, can he?
And the funny thing is, now you're sounding great now, and you're in perfect sync and everything. Why is it taking a fucking hour to get this full in sync? I'll need to work out why that is.
You know what's weird?
Right, can you ask the last question?
What's that?
Sorry about that.
The pictures keep flashing on and off.
It's because Brian pulled off the screen. It goes into a 3-screen mode.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And are you based in London most of the time then?
Yeah, I've got a place in the Cotswolds, but we're in London.
Yeah.
And we're going away, I think Thursday, for a week or so down to this little house we got.
Right. Okay. And sorry, you go, Steve.
No, go on.
No, I'm just saying that I take it you're really busy. You're still involved primarily with soundtrack stuff.
No, because since what happened was there was COVID, and that was great. But then after COVID, nobody knew what to do, and then there was a strike, and the strike went on for far too long. And then after the strike, what happened? I know, Trump is what happened.
Oh yeah.
Film works.
He's
in Scotland at the moment.
He's on his way up. He's on the way back to America now.
Yeah.
Is he?
He took off from about 6 o'clock or something, 6:30, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
How wonderful it was you guys having him.
I know. And his roots are his mum's from Stornoway, or from the Isle of Lewis. So he has got
it's a shame she left.
It's a shame she had him.
Aye.
Even if she hadn't left, he would have been here all the time.
Aye.
Yeah, but here Here's nothing. There, he runs the world. He's a
Yeah,
nutcase.
that's true. I know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a shame. That.
Yeah.
Anyway, Steve, I think we're going to wind it up here.
Okay,
I
guys.
really, really appreciate you coming on to do this, and I hope we can.
No, it's a pleasure. If you get it, if you don't get anything, if it's all chaos because of the internet, right? Let me know, because we can do bits, whatever.
Yeah.
This.
We'll piece together what we can, and we'll see. I think
if there's anything there.
Yeah, but no, I've really loved talking to you. I mean, obviously, I'd like to still go into more of the kind of street fighting years elements and what happened subsequently and all that. And obviously, I've got my own thoughts, because here we are, like 40 years later. Is it 40 years? It's certainly a long time. And I'm looking at the set list that Simple Minds play, and it's pretty much just all the stuff that I did. You know, I mean, there was one song in the last set that I counted that I had nothing to do. I think it was Let There Be Love. So even that's still 39 years old. You know, it's like we did something really good, Steve, and it's still hanging in there. That's what I'm thinking.
What when you heard Real Life, what did you think?
I really liked it. I was fucking pissed off. There was at the same time as Real Life came out, I think Seal had done an album. I think did Trevor go and do an album with Seal about the same time? And I thought that was amazing, and I really loved that. And then I heard that track Real Life, because I never actually got through the whole album. And I thought, no, I thought it was all you. I was convinced that you had done all the keyboards and you had programmed all the drums, and you had pretty much done everything.
Well, I was the rhythm section, really, on that album.
Yeah.
It was good. I thought that song Real Life was really good. It was interesting.
Yeah, it was. It was a sort of backwards thing. By the time the thing came in and the whole the way the arrangement worked, I thought it was great. I'm surprised they don't do that. That's one of the better tracks I think that they've done since my departure.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know why they don't kind of really. It feels like it would be a good live thing to do.
There's a great moment in that. If you know the song at all, it's like a stop, right?
Yeah.
And there's this chord, and he sings a verse thing, and then it goes to a really interesting chord before it all comes tumbling back in. I think it's a really clever moment. That.
Yeah, no, there is. It is. I know the very bit you mean. But even when the actual chorus comes in, it almost sounds like it's a kind of backwards thing that brings it in. You know, it's like the way it all comes back, and then suddenly it's all bash right in your face again.
Yeah.
No, it's really good.
Yeah, it was good. That. All right. Well, look, I'm around. You know, you ever want to chat? We can.
Excellent, Steve. That's really good. We'll see what it comes out. If it's really, really stuttery, we'll come back to you, because
we can get the bit and just stick it in. Just redo the question or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Brilliant. Yeah. And you're looking great. You're looking really well. You're looking really happy.
You all look well. You all look well.
You're looking great.
What is this, a podcast?
Yeah, we've got our own sort of wee podcast, Facebook, social media page. We've kind of started it as a tribute to one of the drummers, early drummers in the band that had died. Kind of suddenly, we decided to get together and chat about him, and then we've kind of just talking to people that have been involved in their lives and in the records we made. So we've Steve Lillywhite with Steve Hilly. We've had all the Steves so far.
What's it called? What's it called? How do I find it?
What's it called? I don't even know what it's called.
We'll send you
the link.
Send me the link.
It'll come up here in a second.
We're called the Minds. We know that the Minds is what we're kind
the
of
three Minds. It's like the Minds. That's the way it looks. TH3.
Okay. We're the Simples and we're the Minds. It's kind of
good to talk to you.
You too, Steve. Right, take it easy.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, you keep well.
You too,
right, guys.
Steve. Right. Bye.
Bye.